Hey guys, are you planning a trip to Wisconsin? If you are, this video is going to be very helpful for you to figure out something to do when you arrive here in Wisconsin. Now, the most Wisconsin thing you can do that I recommend you definitely doing if you're coming here for a weekend or even a week or even planning to potentially move here is going to be visit a supper club. Supper clubs are very important with the Wisconsin culture, and they're actually kind of a dying breed. So if you happen to get to one, Google it. Make sure you guys go to one while you're here because they're becoming more and more rare. Now, a supper club is usually a restaurant that is independently owned, so there's not really chain restaurant supper clubs, okay? A supper club is different than a normal restaurant in the fact that it's meant to be a very long dining experience. You basically order off a very small, limited menu, and one thing I recommend would be going to a fish fry at a supper club. That's probably the most Wisconsin thing you could possibly do. If you go on a Friday fish fries are super popular here in Wisconsin, and supper clubs are like the place to go to. Now keep in mind, some supper clubs might not take reservations, some may. So if you guys find a supper club, make sure you call ahead and try to make a reservation. I decided to go to a supper club one Friday evening because I felt like having a Friday fish fry, and I was in line for an hour and a half waiting to get inside of this restaurant. Now keep in mind, this restaurant was like 15 minutes out of town in the boondocks and looked like nothing from the outside. It looks like you're literally pulling up to a cabin in the woods. You open it up and there's literally a line of people waiting to get in there. It smells like good home cooked food, like comfort foods, like a ribeye steak, Friday fish fry, obviously. What else do they serve? Like potatoes and meatloaf, and pretty much every single meal you can expect to get a bowl of soup along with some bread and butter. So it's not like you're going to the restaurant and just getting, whatever and leaving. It's an experience. So you typically there for like an hour to an hour and a half. And one of the most Wisconsin drinks that you almost have to get when you go to a supper club is gonna be the whiskey old fashioned with brandy in it. So brandy, old fashioned, sour, that's my go-to drink if I'm going to, but this is very Wisconsin of you. If you come here, make sure you go to a supper club. They're actually kind of a dying breed of restaurants out around here. Make believe you're walking into your grandma's house and having a home cooked meal. That's what a supper club feels like. It's very homey. It's meant to be an experience, and it's very Wisconsin. And make sure that you wear a Wisconsin's jersey when you get there.
I have become licensed in Wisconsin. I'm fishing. The licensing part is real estate, and I have officially joined Dan's realty team, your realty group. Dan, the technology to be able to dive into things is impressive. However, when you're working on real estate, it's hard to go and just stop your system to learn all these new ones, and they come at you so fast. So I was blessed to meet Dan. I found him on YouTube. He had some YouTube channels going, and so I talked to Dan and his realty team, and I got a hold of, I think I even got passed on to Devin as well, and got to start meeting people and talking with them. So thank you for that.
Which brings me to my second most Wisconsin thing you can do. That's taking a tour of Lambeau Field. Whether you're a Packers fan or not, since you're moving from out of state, maybe you're not a Packer fan, but I would say regardless of whether you are a Packer fan or not, Lambeau Field is a very important place for the NFL. And if you know anybody from Wisconsin, you know that Wisconsin we're die-hard Packer fans. Lambeau Field, the Packers, the green and gold, the Frozen Tundra is such a part of our culture. Unfortunately, they haven't been to the Super Bowl in a while, but there's always hope for the Green Bay Packers because somehow they always figure out how to have an amazing quarterback. So if you guys are coming here, make sure you guys stop at Lambeau Field and stop at a supper club, and preferably a Friday fish fry. Make reservations, or a ribeye steak. That's what I would get, and order a Wisconsin old fashioned sour. See you guys later. Bye.